feel like the only thing you ever practiced was handwriting.
Oh. Here we go.
You write left-handed?
Break the ring.
No.
What'd you do? Are you fucking up, Nick?
Yep.
You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
This episode of Breaking Down the Ring is brought to you by Chawla Legal Group Estate Planning. Estate planning is for everyone. Whether you're worth $4,000 or $40 million, estate planning can help protect you, your family, and your assets while you're alive and well. Damn. To register for an upcoming workshop today, go to chawlalegal.com/workshops or call 586-273-7157. Again, that's chawlalegal.com/workshops or call 586-273-7157.
What the Rock is cooking.
We are fucking live. Better late than never. We got a lot of shit to talk about. Sorry we're late. We're like 20 minutes late. We had a lot of shit to discuss before the show. We've got NXT to talk about, the takeover in Toronto. We've got SummerSlam. We've got just all kinds of shit happening in the wrestling world. But we are here, and we're going to fucking break it down for you right now. I've got no Mikey, though, so who knows what's in store. But get ready, because we're about to
break the ring down.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
The cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. You just made the list.
This right here is a family.
Hey, this is professional wrestler and professional podcaster Colt Boom Boom Cabana.
My name is Killer Cross.
This is The Smoke Show, Scarlett Bordeaux.
What's up, guys? The After Machine, Brian Cage.
This is Ryan from Pro Wrestling Tees.
Sadly, you are not listening to The Art of Wrestling, but you made a decent choice because you're listening.
You are now listening to...
And you're listening
to
You listen to Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring. Break it down.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
What's up, everybody? We're here live. No Mikey, which is really weird because that doesn't happen too often. But we've got a lot of shit to talk about nonetheless. We had SummerSlam weekend with all the festivities and shenanigans that happened there. Yeah, man, just a lot of shit. I can't even spit it all out because there's so much crap to talk about.
NXT TakeOver, the G1 Climax ended.
I don't want to hear about your climax.
Yeah, my name is not G1.
Nobody does.
But at any rate, we are your ring crew.
Mikey is here. Hi.
Hey, Mikey.
Yep, I'm Smitty. Now see.
That's Smitty. I'm the whole effing Joe.
Bastards. You're going to take my identity.
And I'm Znick, and yeah.
No, that really has nothing to do with your idea. It's just a little. That's something else.
So, Z, I got to say it's nice to see you back from nature and, you know, all that, and that you're alive still, and, you know.
Yeah.
He went to the forest, not me.
First day we got out there, we're walking to our campsite. And as you guys know, like the lake levels around here.
Is this somehow wrestling related?
No, but it's about how I almost died, so
Oh.
you'll like it. We're walking through the path to get back to our campsite. It's like real rustic, you know, just swarmed. I mean, you can see all like little bumps and shit on my skin, covered from every inch of my body, head to toe, in mosquitoes. That was like, I had to carry 2 things back there, and we left.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, fuck that place.
Good camping.
Yeah, that was my side cast for the night.
Excellent. Well, so aside from that,
Camping sounds fun.
I went camping 2 weeks ago. It was a shit show.
Fucking white people.
Only people that pay to be homeless.
That's right. We did have electricity, and
I'm too posh for all that.
I was more homeless than you.
I'd rather do what we're doing, you know. I'd rather go the hotel route, you know. Why am I gonna like go out of my way to live primitively when I have all the luxuries?
do you glamp? Are you a glamper?
You know, one day
I don't even know what that is.
Okay.
Your
You go camp-
your daughter's gonna
cabins.
grow up. She's gonna want to go camping, and you're gonna do it.
I won't even let her know what camping is. She won't even know that it exists.
Best way to go about it.
So we did have a lot going on this weekend. It all started with NXT TakeOver Toronto on Saturday night. Really big event. NXT, for me, didn't disappoint as usual. You know, there were some ups and downs, as there always are. With that show, we had the NXT Championship. It was 2 out of 3 falls with Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano. NXT Women's Championship match, Shayna Baszler and Mia Yim. North American title between Velveteen Dream, Pete Dunne, and Roderick Strong. Matt Riddle and Killian Dane were there. I got some points for that.
I think we all kind of got points for that one.
Io Shirai and Candice LeRae won a grudge match, and then there was also the tag team championships between the Street Profits, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly of the Undisputed Era. For me, yeah, it was a great pay-per-view. There were a couple things that we'll get into that I wasn't too thrilled with, Joe. I agreed with some of the things you said in the chat.
I don't like to finish at a tag title match either.
So, well, let's start with that. Why didn't you like that? What was wrong?
I'm all right with a dusty finish here and there, but with the Street Profits supposing to be the babyface of this feud, them getting a shaky win like that just kind of, I don't know, I just kind of irked me the wrong way. And yes, I complain about the black guys.
Wow. Chew on that mayonnaise. Joe, what about you? What do you think of that match?
I liked it. The finish didn't bother me as much. I thought it was a little clunky. Like now I remember when Mikey said something about the Street Profits work rate, and I was like, "What are you talking about? They're great athletes. They can do a lot in the ring."
No.
Now I can kind of see what he means because they can do high spots, but they can't work like Undisputed.
Right.
So I get that, and so I think they didn't have. I mean, because Undisputed, I mean that's like catch wrestling. That's mat wrestling. That's what do they call it? Catch as catch can or whatever. Mm-hmm. Street Profits can't hang with that. You know, they're flash, they're flop, they're fly, and they're entertaining. But I just don't think those two teams meshed well. But that being said, I still enjoyed it overall. I mean, I didn't think it sucked. I just think it was a little clunky, and they just didn't have the greatest chemistry. But I still thought it was a pretty good match. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I did like the high spots, but again, like you were saying, they can't put in the time and work the way that a team like Undisputed Era can. I mean, it was pretty evident, but it was an entertaining match. Z, did you watch? You watched TakeOver, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Every bit of it in silence. So I have no idea what the commentary was saying. No, I thought it was a good match. I mean, I saw the contrast in styles just like you guys did. So for good as match as it could be with the contrast of styles there, but luckily the Street Profits are young, and hopefully they can learn to be adaptable, because then it would make them like overall great tag team. Because they have everything else, they just don't have the experience. I mean, from what I see.
Yeah. I hope we do get some more of the Street Profits and see them evolve over time and maybe turn into something that's actually worthwhile. But
they got good promo skills.
I
actually see it every week on Raw.
I had them dropping the titles because I thought they were just going to call them up to Raw permanent.
I could see Montez Ford getting a big singles push somewhere down the line. He's got a lot of charisma.
Now, Angelo Dawkins needs Ford, because Angelo Dawkins was floundering on NXT for
That's
the
the
better
thing,
part
though.
of a decade.
Ford don't need Dawkins.
Correct. Just like the Nation didn't need D'Lo Brown.
With the Street Profits, they're still a duo. And I think that Ford brings out the better part of Dawkins. Is bringing out the best in Dawkins.
Yeah, but I think Ford is the star of the team, and I think eventually eventually somewhere down the line, he's going to get a solid singles push.
If I had to
Dawkins is
compare
Jannetty.
Ford, I was going to say Ford is Shawn Michaels and Angela Dawkins is Marty Jannetty.
Nobody wants to be the Jannetty.
Nobody, man. Not even Marty Jannetty wants to be Marty Jannetty, man. Let's be honest.
Moving on.
It's true. It's damn true.
Poor Marty Jannetty.
Fuck him.
The next match was Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae in a grudge match. It was a pretty solid match. I kind of like Io Shirai as a heel. That was working.
I miss her old babyface wrestling outfit, though, where you could see, like, her thighs. Yeah.
Sure.
But, yeah, she's something else.
She makes my penis not soft.
Yeah. I saw a lot of comments like that.
She makes my penis not soft.
She makes my penis unsoft. Yeah, that was a good solid match too. And I actually,
what the hell was that submission she used? That was pretty. I liked it.
Yeah, I
like
couldn't
a
even tell you what the name of it
Koji
was. but
clutch or something.
Yeah, that's what they called it. But
She held it for a while.
Yeah, but that's WWE. What's the real name of it?
Yeah, it was another solid match. The North American Championship, that ended up being another really good match. Dream versus
Look
Pete
who was
Dunne
in it.
and Roderick Strong.
Right.
Well, hey, I actually picked Velveteen Dream to win that one
So
on the
did I.
scorecards.
I picked Pete Dunne.
I knew Dunn was there either to make sure he didn't take a fall, to make sure Dream didn't take a fall, or
I had that match completely opposite. I had Pete Dunne winning by pinning Velveteen Dream when Dream won by pinning Pete Dunne.
But yeah, another great match on the NXT card. The Women's Championship match, I don't know. That was probably one of the weaker matches on the card for me. Shayna Baszler beating Mia Yim.
they had a couple of good spots. In
Yeah,
there.
I mean, it wasn't bad by any means, but, I did get a little bored for a couple minutes. I don't know. Joe, what did you think?
I wanted to see Mia Yim win that thing.
Yeah.
Me too.
I think everybody wanted to see Mia Yim win, but that's why I think she's probably going to take it
I
around Mania
actually
weekend.
I actually kind
Or
of like
Survivor
that match.
Series.
I heard a lot of people dogging that match. A lot of people saying maybe, putting a lot of the blame on why they didn't like the match on Mia Yim. Like, she's not at the caliber of Shayna Baszler yet. I disagree wholeheartedly. I think Mia Yim's fucking awesome. Actually, I think she would have been a great choice to take that title off of Baszler, and I was actually rather disappointed that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Even though I did even though I did pick Baszler on the scorecard because obviously she's a favorite, I wanted Yim to win like a lot.
Yeah.
So, I was just disappointed really in who won.
And the thing about Yim is Yim once again, it's she's one like Z said about Street Profits. She's one of those younger talents that is still.
She's not that young, man. She's been around a minute.
She's been around a minute. I watched when she was still in Shimmer and shit. Yeah. But,
so she's got experience outside of WWE. The Street Profits are like WWE born and raised.
Yeah, those are
Homegrown.
Those are PC products.
Yeah. Yim. I don't know if I'm just biased about Yim, but I wanted her to win too.
Why? Because she's hot.
Well, most of the women on NXT are hot, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really thought that she might win. I picked Baszler, but then I was like, man, Baszler's had this title for
That's my
a
point.
minute.
Yeah, I lost my point.
So, but I don't
Go
know.
to your notes. Go to your notes.
Pull them out.
Yeah. I think they're gonna have Yim
Shout out
Chase
to
Leonard.
Cedric.
Let me know. We're gonna wait till we get to some more of the stuff right there before I get into my notes.
The two out of three falls match for the NXT Championship with Adam Cole, baby, and Johnny Gargano. Stipulations changed between the first fall, second fall, third fall. First fall was the classic wrestling match.
Which went 26 minutes. Did anybody have 26 minutes for that first fall?
Fuck no.
I had the whole match going half an hour.
So did I. I had the whole match going 32 minutes, and it went
Over
59
almost
minutes.
an hour.
Mikey said, "Don't pull anything out." So please, for the love of God, don't.
Maybe. I'll think about it.
He's used to not pulling out.
Actually, I am. I'm the only one here. One of the only two people here that don't have children.
He's used to
That
not
didn't-
pulling out.
And you just said
I'm
you
gonna
are.
say it again. He's used to not pulling out.
And then he goes, actually,
Yeah,
I am.
You don't say.
I got tons of kids out there I don't take care of.
Not that I know of.
But yeah, that was a really good match. The 2 out of 3 falls match. You know, this being Cole Gargano 3. What I was saying earlier is what Joe brought up in the cage fucking whatever fucking you want to call the last fall death match asylum.
The no surrender cage match.
You know, I used to get excited when I'd see a bunch of weapons like that come out. Like, okay, this shit's gonna get real. And now I'm just kind of like, because you know it's not gonna fucking matter. You know what I mean? Like,
Not in the WWE.
yeah. So that was my letdown, is the fact that they had you thinking, oh, they've got this sledgehammer and whatever else there may have been hanging from the cage. And
Sledgehammer is one of the dumbest weapons ever
Yeah.
carried around in wrestling.
Because it's not believable.
I mean, no one swings it the way Triple H swings it, like putting his hand over the actual
Whoa.
hammer part and then, you know, using it like a pool cue rather than swinging it like a sledgehammer, like how it's meant to. You know, it's just
Well,
dumb.
we've seen him
It's like,
do it. They just miss. Every
why
time.
don't you just come down in the ring with a fucking gun? Like, what the fuck?
Well, Pillman did that.
Right. Well, at least he was at home, you know.
But okay, now I understand that your point.
That was a little sarcasm. Sorry.
Yeah.
okay.
Your whole point of view, Joe, is that if you're gonna give it a gimmick like that, there should be blood. I wasn't.
No, it's not
I wasn't
necessarily
upset
blood.
that there wasn't blood because, quite honestly, until you brought it up, I didn't even think of it.
'Cause,
But
dude,
I was upset, like you said, that there not only is there barbed wire that literally at one point Johnny takes a piece.
he cut a
off.
piece off and then like did absolutely nothing with it.
It did
right?
absolutely nothing with it. But then, like, you're looking around the ring and there's like chairs and kendo sticks,
Fire
and
extinguishers.
random shit like attached to the cage.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's fucking.
I don't either.
Stupid.
It reminds me of that hokey.
That's like a
Dean
yeah,
Ambrose Asylum match.
That exactly, or like
mixed with the Pujani
like a
prison match.
Halloween match with
Punani
pumpkins
what?
around the ring or something.
Oh, I remember that.
That's
from
fucking
WCW. Yeah, like a
stupid.
Halloween Havoc match. But
If shit don't happen organically, it shouldn't happen.
until you pointed it out, then none of that bothered me. I was like, oh, that was really good. I
'Cause
can't
that's
believe these
really-
two went an hour. Like,
I was complete as soon as Regal made that announcement on the pre-show, and then they showed the cage with the barbed wire at the top. I was like,
God damn it, Vince already has his hand in it.
that's exactly what I was like. I was like, I
Vince
swear
has
to
got
God,
his hand up the puppet's ass again.
I was like, I swear to God, if both these guys are just not like both wearing the crimson mask, both bloody messes, by the end of this thing, I'm gonna
Or
be
at least
disappointed.
one of 'em.
Yeah, dude.
That. It's like that.
You have something that is
But I don't understand
implying that
why-
much violence. You should portray that much violence.
Yes.
Well, like I said, didn't think about it. You brought it up. Once you
They
brought
could
it
have
up,
just
I was
had a
like,
cage
you know,
without all the weapons and without
Yeah.
the barbed wire. I wouldn't have said a fucking word.
Gotta just drop the Hell in a Cell on and call it a day.
now.
I don't know, man. Would that even have been?
What.
I guess
That'd have been the first for NXT too. First NXT Hell in a Cell.
They're saving that for something. Well, now that Vince is involved, it'll be next week.
yeah.
I
Mitch the potted plant makes its return.
Jesus Christ.
only with Fandango the lunatic fran
Right.
now.
Hey, stop. Breezango's back at NXT and they're awesome.
And I forgot what I was gonna say. Smitty ruined my train of thought.
Damn it, Smitty.
God damn.
You always fuck everything up.
We were
Fuck
talking.
you.
We were talking about the cage and the structure and the
The weapon.
the
Oh,
lack
yeah,
of
but
use of the
overall,
weapons.
that match was
The match is great.
incredible.
That's why I said, like, I know you guys,
Just-
when I first said that, probably thought I didn't like the match. I'm like, no, dude. I love the match.
But no,
gimmick.
like
It
I get
didn't
what
need
you're
that
saying.
shit.
I want
Yeah.
like Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes inside of a steel cage match, blood. Just the whole mat, just
Cody
turned
and
red.
Dustin.
Yeah, yep.
I mean, if otherwise, don't have barbed wire. You could have simply not had barbed wire. No one would be talking about this shit. Because trust me, I guarantee you, I'm not the only one that fucking is saying this shit.
True.
When I went back and watched it, I saw what Joe was pissed off about. Jim, like,
Yeah.
you made this structure seem so violent, and it was saying so everything was so tame within
Just
that,
all
that
fucking
last part.
decoration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other thing is they called it a no escape cage match, but clearly you could have escaped.
The door was still there.
Well, then they had barbed wire on the top, but all
He had snips.
All Gargano, yeah.
He could have snipped himself a pathway out.
Oh, I'm going to take these scissors that are hanging right over here on
Right.
this
So
cage.
conveniently.
Oh, it's like that was almost planned. On their tin snips too, perfect.
So yeah, that last part of that match.
And the barbed wire didn't even have any barb on it.
That's what if you notice in the chat, I called it unbarbed wire.
Yeah.
I'm like, where are the fucking barbs? They're what few ones there were like rounded off at the
Oh, yeah.
tips and shit. Like, dude, this is stupid.
Because I was watching the match again. I didn't have sound, so I didn't know like any of this was announced or anything like that. So I'm watching. I'm like, oh, he's grabbing the barb. What the fuck is that? Like chicken wire just wrapped around? Like it was. Yeah,
It was a fucking waste.
The last part of that match was an insult to your intelligence.
You know what though? Also though, I'm saying before I heard Joe's thing that I liked that match. I also didn't hear them telling me how violent this match was, so I didn't think anything. You know what I mean?
Oh, Regal made this big, like, dramatic announcement, like there was just impending doom coming, and then they showed the structure, they showed the cage, and they showed the barbed wire, and they showed all the weapons thrown about. And I was like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, motherfucker, dude. I was like, if they're
VKM,
they can't do what needs to be done in this match. So why even fucking have it?
Well,
why couldn't they do it though? Because I mean, technically NXT is not on the network or not on.
But it's a
public
WWE
TV.
mandated fucking thing
But
for
there's
Vince
been,
down.
There's been blood in NXT before.
Not like that.
Well, and it's like the only weapon that really fucking, I don't even want to use the
But
word
NXT
matters.
is your older crowd anyway.
They're using a fucking kendo stick like it's going out of style. Like that's the only weapon. That
Maybe a chair.
Really, maybe a chair. But like, I gotta say, while I do enjoy somebody getting their ass beat with a kendo stick, it is getting a little stale. You know what I mean?
And that's not just WWE. A lot
That's
of other
with
promotions are
anything.
doing it too.
If you see it every once in a while, you know it's exciting, it's fresh.
Right.
I mean, you could be. That's why I'm not like into death match wrestling. Like someone going into light tubes, like, whoa, that's crazy. But then you watch someone going into light tubes on every fucking show. Eventually, it becomes old hat, and you're like, oh, these fuckers just can't work.
Correct.
You know, like, so if you overdo anything, it's gonna get stale and boring and old hat.
Well, those are like the only two weapons you can really have to work safely with.
Yeah.
Just hit somebody across the back.
Sasha Banks knows a little bit about that. With the
Yeah,
chair.
well, she hit Becky in the back of the head.
Oh,
if you saw
we'll
that.
get to that. We'll get to that. But overall, it was a good show. It was a good pay-per-view. NXT never fails to disappoint on their takeover events. I wish that they would maybe add another match to because usually, anytime I've ever seen it, 5 matches.
What is 5 matches this time? Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
there was.
Every time, 5 matches.
There's
Let's
5
see.
matches.
Right, but let's see another match.
What's
You know
that?
what I mean? Let's see another one.
Oh.
You know?
Well, they just have it down where 5 matches, 2 hour. I don't want to see another match because then it'll take time away from these amazing matches.
Well, and I can see that because then when do they stop? You know, okay, well, now we got 6 matches. Well, let's make it go 7, and then
But
just
instead of that,
fucking,
you did get the
WrestleMania.
Like instead of that, you got the Killian Dane Riddle spot.
Yeah.
In place of whatever blank space
Yeah.
they would have had.
But I mean, and that's the thing I like about NXT is you got a 2 hour slot, you got 5 matches, you got a lot of time to work with. So really, you get a little extra freedom with your time.
Yeah.
It is like that Riddle.
But even
Dane spot was.
I mean, they
fucking sick.
knew they were having an hour-long main event, but they had 4 matches down and still an hour left. Not every takeover needs an hour-long main event. You could have still squeezed 2 other half-hour matches in there,
Right, but
and those would
who's
also
to say if
long
they-
enough
if
to
they-
be classics. You know,
If they didn't have this hour-long main event planned, then each match would have gotten 10 extra minutes.
not each match needs 10 extra minutes.
I'm saying they would differentiate the time. Like the triple threat match would have went a little bit longer because it's a triple threat match. Get what I'm
and
saying?
is that because is it always 5 matches on NXT?
Always.
Yeah, always 5.
Always 5.
Really?
Yep. It's normally so before they had the North
Because
American
I feel like this
title-
is the first time I was like looking at the card and I was like, damn, there's only 5 matches. That's crazy.
They so now there's 4 titles, so it's 4 titles and
A grudge.
a grudge match. It used to be 2 grudge matches and the 3 titles.
And sometimes it will only be 2 titles and 3 grudge. 3 grudge matches at some points.
When I feel like the fact that Takeover is only for the big 4 pay-per-views, they could afford to
They ran a
squeeze another
standalone
match
one
in
this year.
They
Yeah,
ran
they normally
Takeover 25.
Well, they normally run 5, and the 5th one is Money in the Bank.
there. Gotcha.
So the big 4 plus Money in the Bank, and they did kind of do that. They just did it a week earlier.
Yeah, they kind of run 5 and maybe 6. Sometimes they do a random standalone for something.
Yeah, that week earlier one, that was a standalone one where they didn't do it on a weekend of a.
Yeah, but they normally do it at Money in the Bank. They just did it the week before.
Right. I think they wanted to do it on its own just to see how it would do.
Well, that's also
without piggybacking off the other pay-per-view, you know.
I think it was also the 25th takeover they've done.
Yeah.
It's special, so they had to kind of differentiate it from where they usually put takeovers.
Makes sense. Moving on. So Sunday.
So what match got axed on Sunday?
Aleister Black versus Sami Zayn, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Wasn't
wasn't there
SmackDown,
also supposed to be? So it's supposed to be. Wasn't it supposed to be Roman versus Joe? And then after he got hit by that card, they kind of just didn't talk about it again.
No. That was the whole. He's about the whole Roman who done it.
You can talk about more stuff that wasn't on that pay-per-view than that was.
Yeah,
Me and Joe had a
Well, no, yeah, there was
conversation about
there
that
was
after.
definitely the Aleister Black Zayn match,
Right.
and then there was another one. I just can't remember.
I thought I remember reading not Rowan. Roman versus Bryan was supposed
It was
to
supposed
happen,
to happen,
but they nixed that.
they nixed that and just continued the storyline.
Yeah.
But there's one more. I was watching Raw and SmackDown, and like 2 people came out. Oh, Andrade and Ray.
Yeah.
He's been ripping his mask off for
Mm-hmm.
weeks, and they didn't do that at SummerSlam.
Nope. At any rate, SummerSlam was Sunday. We were at Buffalo Wild Wings in downtown Detroit.
I was not.
You were not. But we knew about that a long time ago because
I was on BPT.
Yep. But it was a great event. We had a really good turnout. Thank you for everybody for coming out. It was a really good time. We gave away a championship title. We were there with the Knockouts and 3 Counts podcast. They gave away a bunch of stuff. We gave away a bunch of shit. Before we talk about the pay-per-view, one thing that really stuck out for me that was a really good moment of the night. I don't know the dude's name. Guy comes in. He's already wearing 2 different championship
The North
titles.
American and the WWE.
And we'd raffle off the WWE Championship. And he wins the title through the raffle. So now this motherfucker's got 3 belts.
So that's how Scotty's.
Yep. So this guy decides to give his title to, obviously you guys know who this guy is,
Scott.
to his son.
Yeah, our buddy Scotty's son. Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, that kid's face lit up like a Christmas tree. He couldn't have been happier. And he already won a raffle prize earlier in the night.
He's been to every big event we've done.
Yeah.
And he seems to have a riot.
Oh, he
man.
did. He had a blast. Michaela had a blast.
He won
Any
a couple
kids that were
shirts
there.
at our last
Yeah.
event, and he loved it.
Well,
the one was too big for him. It was like an extra large men's, and he was like, "Oh, I'll grow into it."
That's awesome. Well, so yeah, he gave him the title and it was great. But then a few minutes later, I don't remember who it was. One of the kids. They were like, "Oh yeah, he said it's going to be the 24/7 title." So Scott, his dad's name, he stood up out of his chair and snapped. And he went over to him and he threw him on the ground. He pinned him, and somebody pinned him 1, 2, 3. So he took the title from him. And then somebody tried to pin Scott, and it's stuff like that that really makes. That was my first big event. But
it was fun.
But it was a blast, and stuff like that, especially for kids to have a good time like that.
You weren't
it was
there
awesome.
for Mania?
Nope.
It was right before he joined. When it was right before he joined the show.
No, he joined the show in January.
No, my kid got sick for me.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, yeah. Nonetheless, it was a great time. I think we did about $1,400 in sales, Mikey said. So, it was really awesome for the Buffalo Wild Wings staff. They were great. Service was great. Food was great. I had a blast. My girl had a blast. I brought a couple friends. They had never been to a big event like that for anything like this. So, it was a really good time. Now, as far as the pay-per-view goes, I didn't get to watch it the way I would normally watch the pay-per-view at home, sitting down, focusing more on it, being able to hear the play-by-play, unless you're Z when you turn the shit off.
I didn't turn it off. The way my service was working up north, it would literally, like SummerSlam, I was having that problem. Goldberg match, right?
Yeah.
Goldberg, like Ziggler gets on the mic, and I wasn't even worried about listening until Ziggler picked up a mic and started talking. So I'd rewind it, and I'd get sound for like 10 seconds, then I'd cut back out, but continue to play the show, and I eventually got frustrated. I was like, fuck it, I'll just watch it without.
It would be a little interesting to watch without the sound. I should.
Sometimes the
Sometimes
show's
it's better.
all way
It's
better
100%
when
better.
they're muted.
Especially like you don't have to hear Michael Cole on Mondays. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah. It was a pretty good pay-per-view, though. I'll give it that. Wasn't my favorite SummerSlam, but I did enjoy it.
What is your favorite SummerSlam? Which one was it?
I really enjoy 92 from Wembley
That's what
Stadium.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say 92 as well.
Yep.
That's a lot of people's favorite SummerSlam.
Yeah. At any rate, Drew Gulak defeated Oni Lorcan during the kickoff show. Buddy Murphy defeated Apollo Crews, which I didn't really catch that match. I know it was on.
I kind of just caught it like earlier today. Where
WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. They were also on the kickoff show with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defeating the Iconics. The Raw Women's title was defended by the man Becky Lynch beating Natalya. The United States Championship match, AJ Styles defeated Ricochet. Goldberg, of course, defeated Dolph Ziggler. SmackDown Women's title match, Bayley over Ember Moon. Kevin Owens defeated Shane McMahon. Charlotte Flair defeated Trish Stratus. 14 matches later, Kofi Kingston defeated Randy Orton in a double countout, which pissed me off. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt defeated Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins
regained the Universal Championship.
Gaining over Brock Lesnar. So I want to start with the Fiend and Finn Balor.
Probably the most over thing in the whole show.
And I expected a squash. Maybe not to that extent, but I was really anticipating finally seeing what Bray Wyatt's character was going to be like in the ring, aside from the mandible claw and,
Sister Abigail.
Yeah. Entrance was great. The new take on his entrance music is phenomenal. The
People
lantern
were dogging that shit too. His entrance.
People praising it or giving it way overpraising it.
A couple articles I read, dude, people hated it, and it's one of those things where I got frustrated. I turned it off. I'm like, I'll finish SummerSlam later.
Yeah.
So I hadn't gotten to that match yet.
Was the Charlotte Trish match that frustrated you?
No, it was the whole sound cutting out thing. So eventually I was like, fuck it, I'll watch it when I get home. But so I'm reading, like I knew all the results because I could check like CBS and they'd give you like the live updates.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who reviewed the match was dogging the entrance, and I was like, really? Like, it's not like Bray to have a shitty entrance.
Yeah.
So then I went on to the interwebs, and there was a handful of people that were bitching up a storm. So now I'm like, I got to see this entrance, right? Like, how bad was it? Like, I turned it on today. Actually, is when I had time to catch up, and turned it on. I'm like, I don't see anything wrong with it. In fact, I love it.
Yeah.
And then he's also the first wrestler to have a exit.
Yeah.
Promo.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and like I said, I thought it was great too. I mean, I couldn't imagine him coming out to that Fireflies theme song the way he did with.
Is that Luke Harper's head on the lantern?
No, that's his.
Well, that was what really set it off for me. When I saw that, I was like, "Damn, that's
they committed to this." I don't think anybody knew.
They went full Slipknot with this shit. Okay,
yeah. And that got some feedback too on the internet with people saying
that's a too graphic of an image for.
Yeah. But you know what? From my understanding, they're sticking with it. WWE actually pulled the video.
I heard that spot with the lantern head or whatever got edited out of some WWE stuff on YouTube.
Yep. So for me, I love it, and I hope that they stick with it. But
they gave it a 14 rated. The whole SummerSlam was rated TV 14. So I'm like, I guess the graphic image was the one thing they were thinking of when giving it that 14
I
rating.
didn't even check to see if Raw was rated TV 14.
But aside from that, the match, he looked good. You could tell, obviously he lost some weight. He looked a lot faster in the ring to me.
Yeah, it's because of his little legs.
Yep. He's a muscle man dance.
I got that. I finally got my tank top.
Oh shit.
The little neck snap. That neck snap had me going like, oh shit, he really just tried to kill him.
Yeah, and it was funny because when he did that, I saw Joe, and you were like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I thought it looked like shit.
Yeah,
he killed him.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
he's dead.
That was,
Oh,
a
God, he's
sarcastic.
dead.
Oh my god.
yeah, oh yeah,
On my part.
yeah.
he's broken in half.
But I'm glad it was quick. I'm glad that he came out there and he took a bump, but
Finn had a little bit of a comeback for a minute there.
yeah, for a minute.
It wasn't a total squash.
You could make it. It was a total squash. You
It
just
wasn't like a
didn't want to
Ziggler
make
squash.
it.
But
Ziggler
nonetheless,
got squashed 3 times in like 3 minutes.
okay. So with
Yeah,
that,
that's a squash.
With that, how'd you feel when Ziggler kept getting on the mic and talking shit?
It's the same shit that Dolph Ziggler has been doing since Dolph Ziggler has become irrelevant.
Should have been me.
I didn't care for it. What was cool though, I like the way he sold the spear. I hate the way that Buddy Murphy decided to copy him on Raw, but
It made it look better.
well, yeah,
I mean,
like
SmackDown.
yeah,
SmackDown, yeah.
But whatever. I mean, it was everyone knows like a Goldberg match is the clothesline, maybe shoulder bump, and then spear jackhammer over. So it was cool to see like the beginning of the match. I was excited. I was like, ooh, he caught him twice with sweet chin music. Maybe they're actually gonna have a match. And I'm like, no, never mind. Thought too soon. As far as
Stop thinking, Z.
it got annoying.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't the only one that thought like it got annoying. I felt like they were trying to fill time for some
like,
reason.
no, just like, why did you have to do it more than once?
Right.
That was the point I was getting at. Just like,
Sorry, you cut me off.
A lot of that pay-per-view felt like they were trying to fill time.
Fodder.
And kill time.
But they killed 2 matches, so why did they need to kill time? And the thing ended at like 10:30.
Because they killed those matches.
Normally it goes to like midnight.
well, at least 11.
Well, no, like the
Dude,
big
they were
events have been going-
they were lucky to get 10:30 out of it. Really, they could have streamlined that motherfucker to end at 10. But they were fucking drawing shit out.
They were like I said, that Ziggler part. Like after the first one, they didn't have to do it a second time, and then it got even more annoying when he did it on Raw with the Miz.
Yeah, but he's been doing that. He did it before this whole. He did it. He used to do it when he used to do the like Naito thing where you come out to no music. You just hear like the DJ in the background.
Naito has music.
What's that?
Naito has music.
Who was it that used to come out to no music?
In New Japan?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about that.
Whatever.
Now another match.
Ciampa used to come out with no music at NXT though.
Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton. Not a lot of build up on TV aside from the vignettes.
Video packages.
Right. Thank you. But yeah, I was thoroughly disappointed with that, especially. I mean, I went home that night and I put that match on, just fast forwarded right to the end because I couldn't catch. I know it was a double count out, and I got that when we were there. At first, I was a little confused because it happened so fast, and it wasn't as believable for me because of the fact that the count was a little faster and it was immediate. There was it wasn't a typical count out for me.
It's like Kofi snaps and he just and
the thing was, the bell rang after Kofi had snapped.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was thinking, okay, it's a DQ.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, no, double count out. But I mean, then he proceeded.
And honestly, the match was like between those two guys. Actually have great chemistry. And that match wasn't even that good. And
stupid.
I didn't think that match was bad.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. Like I said, just like when
I kind of felt the same way about that one as I did Undisputed Era and Street Profits. It felt like clunky and not a lot of chemistry between those guys. When they should have had more
Well, yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
well,
but
they-
it felt like they didn't in that match.
And the way they built this match is by video packages and shit of 11 years in the making, like
Right.
these two and all this heat. And
That's
stuff.
why I was okay with the build. I thought the story
Right.
was already built in.
Right.
The build did not
But-
bother me.
With two guys that have been rivals for 11 years, you want more than a clunky match. You think it'd be
I
more
wonder
fluid.
if it's a political thing. I wonder if Randy just didn't want to do the JOB to Kofi, and that was a way to keep them both looking strong. Because they couldn't take the title off Kofi, or at least they weren't planning on it, and they weren't gonna. So maybe that's just Randy not wanting to lose clean.
We also know this feud is also going all the way to Clash of Champions at least. So
How do we know? We don't know that.
I don't know that.
I mean, maybe now that match didn't have a proper finish, but it's not like we all, and even still, we don't know that. It's not like we all knew that beforehand. I didn't anyway. Unless you knew something the rest of us didn't know.
The improper, the improper finish, and then everything happened on SmackDown. I'm like, oh, this is at least going to Clash of Champions.
That's some hell of a foresight you got there.
I could see that. It's still a month away, but
Clash of Champions, yeah, but still, you got to start building sometime.
Yeah.
You need a better build than you have for SummerSlam.
when I felt like
Why?
Kofi's
The
last.
story's already there. Why
Yeah, the
do you
story's
really
already-
need to build for it?
The story's already there, but like, did the product of SummerSlam live up to the story?
No.
Not the one they were trying to tell, no.
There we go.
Yeah, but now they're telling a story with this kid's involved. So you think the kids make it that much better of a story?
Make it a little bit more personal.
It's already pretty fucking personal.
I think it should have went there at SummerSlam because the fact, like you said, there's an 11-year buildup.
Right.
How many matches have they had
That
before
should be
that?
the SummerSlam's your number 2 pay-per-view of the year. It's already got an 11-year buildup. That should be the culmination of it. Why would you just have a nothing finish at your big dog pay-per-view just to extend it another month to a subsidiary pay-per-view?
Keep Kevin Owens away from the title. So extend the feud.
Yeah. I just want to get into Raw SmackDown because there's some of that stuff like the aftermath of SummerSlam is what's pissing me off.
I didn't see
more than
much.
SummerSlam.
I didn't see much of SmackDown this week.
The one thing I will say about SummerSlam, Raw, and SmackDown that changed this week that made the biggest difference for me is the camera work has been phenomenal. The new camera angles they show you on the weekly shows is great. They, I mean, I don't.
I totally didn't even notice it.
No.
At all.
I did. Next week when you watch, you'll be like, oh, I see what he's talking about. They do it more to an angle more towards the ring. So like in the one match on Raw, when the ref didn't see, Raw with Ray and Andrade, and Zelina gets the feet, they shoot the angle at a lower angle. So like you see Zelina and you see his feet, but you don't see the ref in the frame at all.
That's true.
So then you cannot argue that the ref could see it or didn't see it. Like the angles they were switching up to, like it's definitely, I want to say, an Eric Bischoff thing that's literally back there like, all right, cut to this one. Now cut to that one. Like, because somebody else is doing it, because before it was shit and now it's gotten really fucking good.
Yeah, so they're starting to pay attention more with the guys that are in the back, making sure. Yeah, I noticed that. I did notice because they were right behind Zelina while she's grabbing.
And then they shot it like an angle from like the floor up to the curtain.
Microphone Z.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But we'll get to Raw and SmackDown. I do still want to talk about, obviously, we have to talk about Trish Stratus and Charlotte. Another match that I wasn't too entertained by. I mean, it was just kind of there.
It was there and it was drawn out, and it buried both title matches.
Yeah.
That match was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
That match wasn't bad.
It was terrible.
That
You
match
watched
was-
it on mute.
No, that match was. What does that have to do with the match being good or bad?
Commentary made it worse.
Okay, that's fine.
It went on way too long.
I mean, clearly Charlotte was carrying Trish there, but for returning Trish and not having wrestled and really not being that great of a worker in her day, I think Trish did fine.
She did as good as could be expected of her, which
She
is
was a
not much.
non-soggy shit sandwich.
I mean, it was a little hokey. I mean, definitely some ring rests on Trish's
Man,
part.
I heard the guys on Busted Open talking about her in this match, and they talked about her like she was like top 5 performer
Who,
of all.
Trish?
Yeah, like
What
how
the
amazing she was, and like there's only like 3 people on the face of the earth that could pull this off.
She
like,
was at best.
I know that was
okay
I was like,
in
you
her
guys.
time.
I was like, you guys are sucking some serious Trish dick here because this is not anything like what I saw. Like what I saw is Charlotte carrying her
Yeah.
100% through that match, and what and the guys so funny. The guys on Busted Open, they literally said there's only a few people in the entire world that could come back from a 14-year hiatus and hang in the ring with someone like Charlotte. I was like, I almost puked in my mouth when they said that.
Molly Holly.
I was like, dude, she did not hang in the ring with Charlotte. Slowed down about 80% to not make Trish look fucking stupid. Like she totally carried Trish throughout that. I mean, I was sitting there.
I think they put together a
I
good
was-
match for what they were working
I don't know if you were sitting with me
I
and my
was.
buddy Mike when we were watching this. Me and my buddy Mike just kept looking at each other like, dude,
This is the drizzle.
end this fucking thing. I really like tap the fucking pencil. Get this thing over with. Stop. I think it was one of the longest matches of the night.
It was.
It
It was
was
almost
like-
15 minutes.
Once again,
No, it was longer than that, I
Was
think.
it?
I think it was
Holy
almost
shit.
20 minutes,
it was
dude.
longer than both.
It
of
was
your title matches.
way too
women's
long,
title
dude.
matches.
It was way too long.
That Brock and Seth match went like 20 minutes.
No, it didn't. It went 13. Look it up.
It went.
Yeah.
Trish and Charlotte got more time than
Trish and
almost every
Charlotte went like
champion.
19, dude. I'm telling you, they're like the longest fucking match on the show, which is absolutely ridiculous.
They went longer than all of the title matches.
I don't care if they're in Toronto, Trish's hometown. I don't care if this is Trish's swan song. Like, you don't make that fucking attraction match like a shit show at best with Charlotte carrying, basically, no offense, but a washed up veteran who was never a great in-ring technician in the first place. You don't
She's
make
had
that
great
match.
punk to work with.
You don't make that match the longest fucking match on your card, dude. You just don't. That's just fucking dumb.
Speaking of pandering to Toronto, and we totally missed this, but Edge has actually been medically cleared to compete, but both he and WWE don't want to take the chance of him being in a situation like he was, so he's not coming back. But when he does do promos now, he can get a little physical, like you saw at SummerSlam.
Oh, when he spared Elias on the pre-show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might just take shit from everybody over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, so for those that missed that, Edge came out, speared the fuck out of Elias, and good night, goodbye.
Shout out to Mr. Xavier Woods for the Stevie Wonder look he had during SummerSlam.
That shit was
fucking
hilarious.
sweet.
And it kind of surprised me that he didn't have that on SmackDown last night still. I mean, that's a quick turnaround because it takes a while to pull that
Dude,
hairstyle.
he actually posted something on his social media about how long it took for him to do that.
It was the whole process, but he sped it up to like a minute and a half or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've had
But-
braids in my hair, and I've had braids when I was like 16, but that was a weird phase.
It was a phase, yeah.
That takes about a good 7 to 8, almost a work day, if you got enough hair.
I used to date a black girl. She would leave the house at 8 o'clock in the morning to get her hair done and would not come home until like 10 o'clock at night. And she'd be at the salon the whole fucking time.
Like I said, once again, depending on how much hair you got, the minimum a work day.
Fuck. Brock and Seth, SummerSlam. I had Brock winning that match. I don't know about
I think
the
a
rest
lot
of
of
you.
people
Yeah, I
had
did.
Brock winning that match.
We didn't get a chance to talk about that scorecard. We did our NXT scorecards last week on the show, so Pro Wrestling Scorecards didn't release the SummerSlam card until Thursday, the next day after our show, so we didn't get a chance to discuss our picks. So, yeah, you guys were all on
I was
board
trying to
with
look
Brock.
at all your other guys' scores, but it's not working correctly.
Yeah, I
It
couldn't.
just shows I can click on it, like I can click on BDR Smitty, and it says his name, but it's still just all my all my picks and my scores.
Yeah.
I had all the troubles in the world.
I
trying to
will
look at
say
mine.
this: the winner of our PW Scorecards contest at BW Wild Wings, whatever you want to call it, B-dubs. He had 112. I have a 119. So you're just lucky that we're not included in this because you would have got beat.
I got a 0.
With that being said,
Anybody else do that?
my mother-in-law, shout out to my mother-in-law, scored a 131.
Didn't she do something like that on the last one too? What?
A couple
Is she some
ago.
kind of
Why
fucking?
the fuck are you on the show?
It's like a Rain Man.
Is she some kind of fucking savant?
You
or
know,
something?
we've been looking for a woman,
Rain
Rain
Woman
woman on
Telling
the
you,
show.
dude. I came home and she was like, "I got a 131." I was
Why
like,
don't you
"What?"
just
Why don't you just let her make your picks?
Yeah, I was gonna say, why wouldn't you just
I
give her
know.
your
So this should be you.
Yeah.
Then it be you.
Yep.
Why?
You remember when we first started doing scorecards and you picked the whole random BS picks?
I thought about bringing those back. By the way, like I did bingo picks. I did
Beer pong
I
picks.
would bowl and whatever like I'd get it would be my pick. If I got a strike, I got the pick. I've done beer pong for picks. I was gonna bring that back, but I've also let Allie fill one with her picks. But I got not as fortunate as you with your mother-in-law.
I got a 118. I know Smitty, you actually got 131 as well.
Oh, fuck yeah, baby.
I don't even know what I would have gotten because I don't even know what I would have picked.
So like we all beat the highest score at B-dubs.
Yep.
That's the
As
same.
we should.
So what did Mikey get? Did Mikey
Mikey got 128.
Oh, wow.
Now NXT on the other hand,
Was he?
I think
They're in
I ate
cahoots. Your
shit.
mother-in-law and
I'm
him
sure
talk,
they are.
huh?
I'm sure they are. I'm like, who the fuck are you texting? Nobody. Nick, shut up.
Texas man.
Who's the man?
So, but on NXT Takeover though, I scored 60. I think Smitty, you were at 40,
44.
44.
I was at 46.
46. Mikey got a 38.
We can't all ate shit on
What'd I get?
Takeover.
Yeah. I think you were 40, 42.
So that was like a 44.
Nick had the highest, which we all scored very low. When Nick
Yeah.
had the highest was 60 something, so that
Yeah,
should tell you how
that's-
well we did.
Yeah. But at any rate, we're getting off topic. Seth and Brock, we all picked Brock to win that
I would have
match.
picked Seth, just so you know. I would have.
You're a liar.
No, seriously. Like, no, the way they built the match, the way they beat him down, the way he guaranteed it, like, fuck
Yeah.
it, why not? Seth Rollins.
Yeah. Well,
And Z likes to pick one random one that they either makes him or break him on these
And that was
scorecards.
going to be it.
yeah, nonetheless, Seth Rollins is your new Universal Heavyweight Champion. The match was okay. Wasn't bad. I enjoyed when Brock swung Seth around by
That
his
was
fucking
awesome.
band.
I think we
That
all kinda
looks
held,
so
we
painful.
Both, I think everybody there kind of held our ribs for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, that actually hurts.
Yeah, that was a good spot. But and then when Brock went through the table and Seth did the frog splash, that was great too.
That was my favorite match of the night, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
When
When was the last time a Brock Lesnar match was your favorite match of the night?
Don't know. Says kind of a lot about the underwhelming
WrestleMania 19.
SummerSlam card. That's another thing. Like, I was listening to the Busted Open guys. They called like this SummerSlam better than Takeover and like a home run, knock it out of the park. I'm
No.
like, dude, you guys are shills, man. Like, who's paying you to say this? Like,
WWE.
You eating a shit sandwich.
yeah, you got Mark Henry on your show. No wonder why you're fucking saying this. You know, like, dude, no, it was not better than Takeover. It was not a home run.
It was a
And
mad show.
And in fact, as far as
It was an-
SummerSlams go, it's bottom of the pack.
It was an. We were looking at the card. Me and my buddy Mike filling it out at the bar. I'm looking it over. Like, looks pretty underwhelming, huh? He's like, yeah, it really does. And then as like the night's going on, I'm like, this card, this show kind of reflects the card. It's pretty underwhelming. And then like as the
We had a
night goes,
conversation.
on, I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, they've got no men's tag titles on here.
The IC champion.
They got no
They didn't even
IC
have 'em on the pre-show,
champion.
did
Nothing. They have
They were on the
one
show.
women's tag match on the pre-show. No IC championship match. No men's tag belt match. Raw or SmackDowns. You got no Samoa Joe. No Shinsuke Nakamura. None of your fucking tag teams.
Okay, hold
no Drew McIntyre. No Roman Reigns. No Rey Mysterio. No Shinsuke Nakamura. This is
Andrade.
fucking SummerSlam. Where are your fucking stars?
I honestly, I think it had a lot.
What the
to do
fuck is
with
that?
them having it in Toronto. Like
I know that.
you
I
couldn't
know
have the Usos
the
on
Usos
it because
couldn't get
of-
across the border. I get that.
Yeah, but
there's other tag teams besides the Usos, man.
Revival.
But like Nakamura may not been able to obtain a work visa for Canada.
I don't know about that one, man.
So what about the revival?
Yeah, what about the Revival? Why were they not wrestling?
I'm just saying it could have been travel problems. It could have been. We don't know.
The New Day were there. They could have wrestled.
That
you
is
know,
true.
they could have put some tag matches together, man. They could have put plenty of matches together without the Usos.
There was not one tag
Who
match on
is
the main
the
card.
IC title belt holder right now?
Shinsuke Nakamura. See, that's how important that title is right now to the WWE.
Right, but even when Finn had it, they didn't really.
They didn't feature it.
They didn't
Now,
feature him.
The IC is like what the US used to be now. Now
They
like
haven't
the
really
roles are
featured-
reversed.
They haven't really featured it since The Miz had it.
They have not featured.
I mean, not that it was all featured at that.
And
Yeah,
as the Miz always said,
As
but
Z
it's
just said
true,
too,
he
when
makes
Finn
a
had it,
must-see
they
title.
didn't do shit with it either. Dude.
You don't even see Finn on TV when he
Right,
had
just
it.
you're barely seeing
Till he lost
Nakamura.
it.
Finn had the same run with the IC Championship that the Major Bros had with the Raw Tag Team Championship.
Oh, yeah, and when they
were not featured, but when you finally featured them, they dropped it.
Yeah. Well, and my thing too is like, okay,
And I can say the same thing for the Iconics too.
Dude, they could have had a whole nother fucking pay-per-view with everyone that wasn't on the fucking show. Like,
And it would have
seriously.
been better than the
And it would have
pay-per-view.
been pay-per-view quality. That's the type of stars that they have on their roster that weren't even fucking booked. To me, that's absolutely ridiculous, and that's a fucking waste of money and talent.
well, not
I'm
only
sorry,
now,
it is.
Not only now you're fucking wasting the men's tag division, but you're wasting a women's tag division. You came up with these fucking titles and have done shit with them.
I
in the
think
process.
they're in the process of correcting that.
They're correcting it because they put it on Alexa Bliss.
Well, yeah, it'll showcase it more. It'll give her something to do with the title, but they've already defended them.
Yeah.
So like they've already have one under their belt, as the Iconics didn't defend them, and when they did, they lost.
Yeah.
Western defended them once, and that's it. And they won, and they all lost by DQ. I mean, count out or DQ or some shit like that when they put against the Kabuki Warriors. And like, I think it's amazing how like actually when I finally got a chance to watch the pre-show, how amazing those women's tag titles got over when they were actually featured on something.
Yeah.
The fact that when the Iconics, everything they did was via social media until like you saw them on SmackDown, the one defense, like I said, when they lost by count out. But they weren't featured on anything for SmackDown. But when you featured them on Raw, they dropped the titles to. Honestly, I was a little bit pissed about Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross winning the championship because I want to see their story unfold. Just putting the women's tag titles on them just seemed like something to give Alexa Bliss something to do, just so you couldn't break away from Nikki.
So overall, feelings for SummerSlam are a bit mixed. Obviously, based on Joe's rant over here, which I completely agree with. We could have had a totally separate fucking card with way better matches, which says a lot about the product that we're getting right now.
I said, man.
Moving on to
I was real quick, like I was telling Smitty, like as we were watching this, like, you know, Paul Heyman is supposed to be taking over booking and yada yada over Raw. I told Smitty at the bar, I was like, this does not feel like Paul Heyman booking to
Hold
me
on.
at all.
So with that being said,
Ricochet's
I
outfit,
agreed with
how
you
fucking terrible that was.
up to that point.
Up to what point?
Up to
The
him
main-
not,
the main
him not
event?
having booking power up till SummerSlam. Watching Raw and SmackDown kind of changed my mind on that. I was like, okay.
I did hear something like he
maybe
wasn't
Summer-
officially taking over the book till after SummerSlam.
Yes, yeah, and that makes a
but
lot
then
of
a few weeks
fucking
ago,
sense.
I also read something like, no,
They were
he's
doing it
starting. He's
after-
starting to put his hands in the booking now.
Right, I think
Andrade's a good example.
I think he started.
So are the Good Brothers.
Well, and Cesaro was getting a push there too. You know that was fucking Heyman.
It's not really a push though. They
But
just built
he's
him up to
getting-
get beat.
He's getting featured more.
They gave him a few wins to
but
make
that
him
was
look
also
stronger
why I
to get
hated
beat
the
by
fact that He was
Black.
paired against Aleister Black because I was like, both of these guys are kind of like on the up right now, and one of them's got to lose. It's the dumbest booking decision ever. Whatever. But after watching Raw and SmackDown, since we're going into Raw, right? So after watching Raw and SmackDown, I was like, okay, this has a different feel to it. And a lot of it was the camera work I was talking about it, but it was a little more edgy. They did the matches on Raw and SmackDown were better than 9 of the matches on SummerSlam. It feels like from watching it on Monday and Tuesday that they gave these guys, they're like, all right, so like when you're doing a promo, hit this point, this point, and this point, kind of say what you want in between, and then just go out there and do some stuff in the ring. And they were like, okay, cool. Like they actually had like creative freedom to do more things in the ring like Andrade and Ray,
I said Andrade and Ray had a 2 out of 3 falls
where
match.
Andrade did the Canadian Destroyer and almost killed Ray. It looked like, but I was like, and I looked at when he botched that spot, like the way Ray landed. I was like, and that's why they don't let him do moves like that.
But Ray got right back up.
Well, right, but watching it, like you're like, oh fuck, like that's why they don't do it, because someone could have gotten seriously hurt. But you can see like right off rip, night and day from like last week to this week. Like Raw and SmackDown have been getting progressively better.
Also, the King of the Ring.
But then
tournament
like
thing.
it hit, and it's like, all right, cool. That was my next point that I want to make before I take off, because I do have to leave. So I've been watching old King of the Rings. Like I started back before 2 pay-per-views ago, and I just watch them randomly. And I'm like, man, I really miss this tournament. Like it was a really good show, especially when that's all they did. They would do the King of the Ring for a pay-per-view, and you do like the first round, and then you do like a tag team match, and then you do second round, and then like the Intercontinental match. Or actually, this was the actual one card where they shoved the championship match in the middle of the card, because your main event was always the finals of the King of the Ring.
Yeah.
Well, then they shortened it up to where it was just like the final 4 and then the finals, the pay-per-view, and they did a bunch of other shit. Then they took it off and made it strictly TV. When it went to TV, it kind of lost its luster to me, because I didn't like the way they do it. I'm happy they're bringing it back. I would love to see it as a pay-per-view, depending on what they do this week with it. Like if they have 4 matches on Raw and 4 matches on SmackDown, and then like lead it into like the next week or the following week, and then like have the culmination of the finals at Clash of Champions, that would be cool.
That's what I read. And for those of you that don't know, King of the Ring tournament is coming back. You've got 8 wrestlers from Raw, 8 wrestlers from SmackDown, and yes, the finals are going to be at Clash of Champions.
The other thing I was thinking, because I've had this thought about them bringing it back for a while, but I always thought it should be like kind of like, the Worlds Collide tour with NXT 205 Live and NXT UK. I thought it should have been a tournament like that to showcase like a newer, younger talent that like, all right, this kid won King of the Ring, like let's see what happens. But then I was also thinking like, okay, if they get rid of it, maybe they should do a Queen of the Ring, like take all the way, and it would put major focus on the rest of the roster, not these 5 main people that you've been focusing on, but it'll give all the girls that want an opportunity or something at least a little bit of spotlight.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm happy it's coming back. Depends how they do it, and
that's what I fear.
See you guys next week.
That's what I fear, is that
Bye.
the current WWE will do what they do with everything that's great.
So real quick,
but if Heyman and Bischoff are really running the show and really doing stuff, like I am excited to see what they're going to do going forward.
Well, especially with the winner of the King of the Ring, what are they going to get? You know what I mean?
No, it's not another bullshit King gimmick.
All right, so like here's the thing. The King of the Ring used to be, I mean, you're going to get a King gimmick, and spoiler alert, I'm pretty sure Ricochet is going to win because he's King Ricochet.
That or Corbin.
Where's he been? He hadn't seen him for a minute.
They just announced. They announced
he's going to be in the tournament.
They not announced for King of the Ring tournament.
But it never really led. Like Stone Cold was supposed to get a title shot, and didn't get a title shot for 2 years later. But it is unprecedented what it does for people's career. Like Owen Hart won it, and next thing you know, he was the IC belt holder and had a nice run with that, and
Edge,
whatever.
Kurt Angle.
And they've been mentioning his name a lot.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if it's because it was in Toronto, Canada, or whatever, but normally, like, when it comes to stuff Owen has done in the business, they kind of like Benoit. Like, they just like, we're just not going to show this clip. This never happened.
That's because of Owen's widow, Martha.
Right, and that's fine, but they're showing his picture in this King of the Ring thing. They mentioned his name at SummerSlam. They mentioned his name on Raw. Like, they've been mentioning Owen Hart for really no reason.
For like the last 2 weeks.
Well, they have no reason to Chris Benoit or Hulk Hogan him. That's not an onus from them.
I get it.
That's an onus from her. And I think,
but for the longest
I think
time,
finally there's like, you know what? Fuck it. we owned Owen's footage. He wrestled for us. We're gonna show some shit. Fuck this bitch, you know.
Which is great, and I really hope like that's what they're doing. And I'm really hoping all of this ends in like a Hall of Fame bid, but more so, I want them in the downloadable content for the video game.
Unless I'm tired of going to create a community.
Well, sure, you can make the Blue Blazer, no problem.
Lately they've the past couple of years, whoever the
content creator.
No, whoever the like.
I know what you're talking about.
The Hall of Famer, like one year it was Kurt Angle, last year it was Goldberg, like this year
Sting,
like
yeah.
Owen Hart.
Character you get for a pre-order or something.
Exactly.
Like that. Yeah.
And I mean, and then you just buy it 2 weeks after it comes out anyway.
Yeah.
Comes in a little seasonal pass. Not that I'm a wrestling nerd or anything.
Nope.
All right, see you guys.
Later, pussy.
Hey guys, it's been fun.
Bye.
Later, man.
This is a hate crime. All right, so yeah, the King of the Ring tournament is back. I am excited for it. When was the last time we had a King of the Ring tournament?
When Wade Barrett won it.
4 years ago, 5 years ago?
So almost
longer than that.
Longer
actually.
than that. So around 2012, maybe.
Okay,
that sounds right.
I said maybe because I'm not sure.
12, 13.
I do like, to Z's point, I like the idea of it being on a pay-per-view, but also the fact that it's 16 guys. I don't know when the last King of the Ring, I don't know if it was 8 or 16. I couldn't tell you.
It was like 8 people, and it was like, and they did it in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. And I did briefly see some pictures of the guys that were in it, like you said, Baron Corbin. I saw Ricochet was on there.
Samoa Joe,
Dolph,
Chad Gable.
Yeah.
With Shelton Benjamin. So it's a lot of guys that you don't see. Like
They need some first round eliminations, you know.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, and I'm excited to see what happens for the winner, to see if maybe they get a title shot. You know,
It's like, okay, so even if it's a title shot, don't put it like the King of the Ring is a way to give you momentum to lead to a big title shot.
Yeah.
Even if you just say King of the Ring and go for the mid card title, make the IC title relevant again.
Yeah.
Go after the big guy with a top star with a mid card title like AJ Styles. It's a good way to kickstart something bigger and get your name and make you an actual star in this company. And that's what I'm fearing with the current WWE system. It's like it seems like they say they want to build stars, but they don't.
It's not set up to build stars. They don't want to truly build stars. They don't want to be in situations anymore where,
like Cena and Rock,
and Hogan and Stone Cold are bigger than the company and have leverage over the company. Vince doesn't want to play that game anymore. He wants nobody to have leverage over him. Right now, Brock Lesnar's got a little bit of leverage over Vince, but he lost some leverage now that he retired from UFC. So, you know, Vince does not like people having advantages over him. No matter how much money it makes the company, we've already seen that he does shit to cut off his nose to spite his face, you know. He does shit, out of his own ego that's better for his ego but not as good for the company. We've seen it.
Yeah, that's why I say I fear what the tournament could do. Like, it has so much potential, but will it live up to it? Will it be another SummerSlam?
I don't know about that, but I do like your idea of maybe not taking the winner of the tournament and automatically putting him into a world title picture, giving them a shot at a mid-card title and having them walk around with that King of the Ring moniker and not necessarily the King gimmick, but having them kind of like the best in the world with Shane McMahon, which I can't fucking stand. But using King of the Ring as like, Baron, King of the Ring, Corbin. I don't know why I said his name with that. I take it back, but you know what I'm talking
King
about.
Corbin.
Right. You know what I mean? So, moving on from that, Monday Night Raw, a lot happened on Raw, some good, some bad. Sasha Banks, we'll just get it out there. Sasha Banks made her return. Anybody expecting that at all? I mean, I knew that it was happening eventually. I kept seeing rumors about her. Oh, she's in town. She's backstage, blah, blah, blah. Here's her new blonde hair, whatever. But
you knew it was either coming SummerSlam or post SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I picked her as unscheduled on SummerSlam.
I did too.
I figure, she'd be showing up sometime pretty soon.
I don't think I picked her for SummerSlam. I think I figured she'd be post because they had so much going on with the women.
Mm-hmm.
So returning Sasha would have probably buried almost anything they had on SummerSlam.
Yeah. Joe, what do you think about her as a heel?
She is a heel.
It's about fucking time.
Yeah.
She's a terrible babyface.
If you ever watched,
she should never be a babyface. She's a heel in real life.
Mm-hmm.
She's a bitch.
That's what I hear. She's
So-
unapproachable.
No, she's not.
Yeah.
So she should just work that angle.
Yeah.
Work that gimmick. Work that personality trait.
and then
turn it up.
And if you watch anything in NXT, she is not she's an excellent heel, even like real life and on screen.
Was she a heel in NXT?
Yeah.
Okay.
Her entire run in NXT, she was heel. And she was absolutely amazing. And it started the whole Ratchet thing, which was that was hilarious. Where the NXT crowd would just say Sasha's Ratchet, and when she start getting over, that's when the crowd would be Sasha's Ratchet. No, she ain't. And I'm like, did the crowd just say no, she ain't?
Yeah.
So, but she was an excellent heel. Like honestly, I don't think Charlotte would have got over as much of a heel in NXT if it wasn't for Sasha.
I saw, obviously, she beat the fuck out of Becky Lynch with the steel chair. I saw her get a lot of heat for a shot to the back of Becky Lynch's head with the chair. I saw a few opinions that said that maybe it could have been partly Becky's fault for moving in the wrong place at the wrong time. A lot of other people just going back to how Sasha botches shit all the time. I'm not one to speak to that. But yeah, it was nice to see her go heel. I'm on board with it. Hopefully they...
I found the King of the Ring contestants. They got them all listed already. What they have it? Yeah, they have them all listed.
Who we got?
So for Raw, you have The Miz, Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, Samoa Joe, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, and Cesaro. For SmackDown, you have Kevin Owens, Ali, Apollo Crews, Chad Gable, Elias, Andrade, Buddy Murphy, and Shelton Benjamin. Those are your competitors for the King of the Ring.
Wish we could do like a pro wrestling scorecards with that.
We'll do the bracket's supposed to be coming out next Monday, so everything's supposed to be due next Monday, so the bracket should be out probably by the end of the week.
Yeah, be nice. So yeah, Sasha Banks made her return. She got a pretty decent pop for that. A lot of people didn't expect it, and when she came out in that purple wig, I was like, man, she looks like fucking shit. Like, that is a terrible wig, but I knew after like 3 or 4 seconds, I'm like, that thing's coming off one way or another, whereas somebody rips her hat off or she reveals her blonde hair, blue hair, whatever it may be. Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe's getting the same booking Bray Wyatt's got for years. He's going to beat the nobodies. When you put him into a major feud, he's going to lose. That's what they do with Joe.
It is frustrating because let me take that back. I love Joe on the mic. I'm a fan of his in-ring work. He's a bigger dude that is very agile at times. I do wish they would do more with him. And you said he's in the King of the Ring tournament, so
he is in the King of the Ring tournament.
I hope that he goes far. I really do. Joe, you caught Raw, right?
Yeah. I wasn't paying too close attention to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of on in the background. What's your question?
Well, I was going to say what you thought of that Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe match. It was early.
I probably didn't watch it intently enough to properly comment on it. I'll be honest with you.
No, that's okay. One of the matches of the night for me, Drew McIntyre and Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, so that was one thing this entire week that got me. Like, Cedric Alexander's performance and Buddy Murphy's performance were just phenomenal. You knew they weren't going to win, but just the showing that both those men had was just like fucking wild. You can't put the toothpaste back in there. You got to do something with these two guys.
You can get over without going over.
Yeah, but these guys did it.
Yeah, if you do it right, you can do that a lot.
But the thing is, after this thing with McIntyre's over, where are you going to put Cedric?
I don't know. What do you do with Sami Zayn? What do you do with Samoa Joe?
Sami Zayn is a glorified fall guy. Let's be honest.
He shouldn't be.
Yeah, he shouldn't be. He's probably one of the. He's a really great in-ring worker, and
he's
excellent
on the mic.
Excellent
too.
on the mic now. Yeah, because when he first started, his mic work wasn't all that, but
he was stifled. He was censored.
Yeah, but now Yeah, but I hate the fact that like you're using Joe as a glorified fall guy. You're using Sami Zayn as a glorified fall guy, and that's Elias another glorified fall guy. Besides what they did with him on Raw, what they randomly did with him on Raw.
They got nothing for him. Okay, they gave him the 24/7 title
For a minute.
but now next week he'll lose it.
Yeah, guys like those are three guys right there. They just can't keep beating. Like otherwise their careers, I mean, they're just going to be pigeonholed into that fall guy, which they probably already are.
They're new JTG.
I mean, you can't keep beating Joe like this. Like he comes out looking like a killer.
Yeah.
When he speaks, he's a killer. But then like he always gets beat maybe something that's a little underhanded or caught him by surprise or maybe just he's in shock or something.
Kryptonite.
Yeah, like and then all of a
roll-up.
sudden he's like he's lost a match and he's sitting there in the ring with this, shocked look on his like we can't keep seeing that same finish. Joe's got to win. Like you got to put a title on this motherfucker. Like for real.
Even the one time you did give him, it was a fucking joke.
He's one of the only guys in the company that's really believable to take on Brock. I mean, I'm sorry. I know Seth Rollins won on Sunday night, but that's really not a believable fight.
Sure.
That's a David and Goliath type situation. With Brock and
Everybody
Joe.
loves underdog story.
You're talking about Goliath and Goliath here. That's a big
Godzilla,
Haas.
King Kong.
That's a big Haas fight, and like I know they had a little bit of a program a year or so ago, but Joe didn't do shit in that. He was the fall guy in that.
Yep.
Like
It wasn't a very long match, and
he was a buff for a Brock appearance.
Yeah.
That's literally what he was. He was fodder for a Brock appearance. Listen.
cheers to the water.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm tired of seeing Joe. Like I enjoy Samoa Joe. I've enjoyed Samoa Joe since the TNA days.
Yep.
Actually, since the Ring of Honor days.
Yeah.
Well, he's obviously over with the crowd.
Well, his body of work speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully we start seeing some more out of these guys.
Well, this King of the Ring, let's say the King of the Ring is a great opportunity.
Yes.
We just listen to everybody that was there.
Yep. Hopefully they don't fuck it up.
Let's say, honestly, as much as I like The Miz, I don't want to see The Miz win.
No.
Because The Miz...
I wish Ray was in the tournament.
Well, we got Andrade. Like, honestly, that's the guy I would want to see win. I would want to see Andrade win, but I think it's going to be a guy off of Raw. It's either going to be... I think it's going to be Corbin or Drew.
Well, speaking of Ray, 2 out of 3 falls match against Andrade on Raw. Ray gets swept.
Which is something that you don't see often anymore. You almost never seen WWE.
And who was it? Was it Chuck in the back in the locker room? Charlie Caruso that was interviewing him real quick.
Yeah, it seemed like he kind of was concussed a little bit.
Yeah, and he was really broken up about the loss. And
My family.
yeah.
I got to do some family. Like, I figured Ray may be concussed because it seemed like he was kind of mumbling through that backstage interview.
What are they doing with Ray, Joe? What's happening with him?
I think they're building something for his son.
Yeah.
Because he mentioned the word family.
Like 3 times.
He's been taking his, some pretty severe losses lately. Like he said, whether it was, I don't remember whether it was Charlie or another interviewer, but it doesn't matter. He said, I've never lost 2 straight and 2 out of 3 falls ever. He's like, he's like, I gotta, think about my career and my family. I think they've got something in the works for a program for Dominic.
Yeah.
But also, I think I kind of like what Ray is doing. It's like Ray's doing something that
felt Paul Heyman.
That's Paul Heyman. Like
that
Paul
interview
Heyman,
that Ray gave, that felt Paul Heyman-esque.
Also, like just the booking of Andrade feels Paul Heyman-esque because Heyman has a thing for using his vets to help get over some of your younger stars or your newer stars. Like Andrade feels like a big deal now going into this King of the Ring tournament. It's like he has multiple wins over Rey Mysterio. Even though he's had great outings with guys like Roman Reigns, like he's actually on a streak of actually winning. So it's something that you've not seen. I'm excited to see what they do with Andrade.
Yeah.
And this is the best, probably some of the best mid-card booking they have on Raw right now.
I think he could go far in that tournament too. I really do. But we'll have to wait and see. Main event: Seth Rollins and AJ Styles.
This is one of those things they actually did build through the whole show, but it just kind of disappointed because everything just kind of seemed telegraphed for what they were going to do.
Yeah, it did seem a little lackluster. I was a little. It was okay.
It was okay, but who doesn't want to see AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins in the ring?
Right. But I do think the build-up was there, but then it didn't live up to that short hype.
And also, where the fuck did Braun Strowman come from?
Oh, yeah. At the end, Braun Strowman comes out and takes, fucking everybody down with him. And for a second, I thought he was going to beat the fuck out of Seth Rollins.
Yeah, he gives him
He should have.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I smell like a quick Strowman heel turn within the next 2 weeks, and that's who Seth is going against at Clash.
Well, that's what I'm reading is that Strowman's next in line for the title at Clash.
And now, because he's the Beast Slayer, now he's going to be the Monster Slayer.
I guess.
Are they going to give him like the whole Spike Dudley gimmick when he was killing all the big guys in ECW?
The Giant Killer.
Yeah, Giant Killer Spike Dudley.
But I think I don't think they'll put the strap on Braun. I think it's too little, too late for that.
Oh, they've killed Braun Strowman's allure and gimmick.
Yeah,
about 6 months ago.
I don't think they've realized that though. I think they still think they can present him as being some monster.
Yeah.
But in my mind, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
Mm-hmm.
After the feud with Roman was over, you kind of you let him sizzle out.
You big showed him. He's a joke.
Yeah.
He's a cartoon. He's throwing grappling hooks. Why do they have grappling hooks in production trucks? I don't know.
Yeah.
But apparently it's a proper tool. It's a common tool for rigging and stuff. Anyway, he's throwing grappling hooks, pulling down walls. He's tipping over semis and ambulances.
Getting electrocuted.
You can't just
throwing the back of garbage trucks.
You can't just forget all that hokey ass fucking tickle butt shit happened, and just sweep that under the rug. And now he's a serious monster. No, man.
Honestly,
you can't do that. That don't work that way.
About
dude.
the last 4 or 5 months, he's been nothing but a catchphrase.
Yeah. Get these hands.
Literally.
But I think they are seriously trying to give him the monster push right now. And like you said just a minute ago, Nick, too little, too late.
Yeah.
Move on. He's not the guy. Or else, if he was the guy, you fucked that up for him.
Yeah.
With your stupid cartoon booking.
A year ago, he should have been, and it would have worked out perfectly.
So it might not even be Braun's fault. It could be booking's fault. But either way, he's not the fucking guy anymore.
Yep. Go ahead, Smitty.
Let's say they were still on that damn Roman experiment, trying to make Roman make him the top guy for everything.
Yeah.
And you had the hottest thing under your nose. You just never pulled the trigger with it.
Moving on to SmackDown, we saw Kevin Owens at the beginning of the show come out to the ring. And,
Proud pander, let's be honest.
Yep. And then, of course, here comes Shane O'Mac. Yeah. There's a lot of people very unhappy with that, as you could clearly see on the show. $100,000 fine for Kevin Owens because he attacked an official, being Elias, at SummerSlam. Whatever.
It's the same phantom $100,000 fine they gave Lars Sullivan.
Yeah.
Can we just be done with the Shane McMahon shit? Seriously.
I know, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So if Kevin lost, he had to quit. If Shane lost, nothing, right?
Nothing.
That's cool. Great booking there.
Right.
No, if Shane lost, he doesn't get to come on TV and, make the fans roll their eyes anymore. But no, none of that.
So the only bright side about this is you have a heel with legit heat on him.
Dude, if they think they're going to try to recreate Stone Cold and Vince with Kevin and Shane, just stop right now.
No.
Stop it.
No.
Fucking stop.
Let's be, but we got to be honest with ourselves. Shane's probably got the most heat of any heel in the company right now.
That's not, dude.
That's not good heat.
That's
but
go away heat. That's not heel heat.
Like
That's get the fuck out of here heat.
Yeah, but it's heat nonetheless.
It's not good heat. It's not the heat you want.
Right, but
it's they're booing you because you suck. They're not booing you because you're a heel. They're booing you because they don't want to see you.
They're going to want to turn the shit off.
Yeah. They're not booing you because they want to see you get your ass kicked. They're booing you because, yeah, they want to change the channel on your ass because you're not fucking entertaining. They're sick of you.
I booed Vince because he was a fucking piece of shit, but it was great. It was perfect. It worked. But I didn't want to turn the TV off because I didn't.
You want to see Stone Cold get to him.
Yeah, you want to see Vince get his ass kicked. Nobody cares if Shane gets his ass. Nobody, they just don't want to see him.
Shane always gets his ass kicked.
Yeah, I mean, Shane's he's a one-trick pony, man.
SmackDown was okay for me.
I saw like barely any of it.
Buddy Murphy.
I didn't see the Buddy Murphy.
Okay, so
Roman. I didn't see the only thing I really wanted to see.
You
from
two,
it.
so you two are the first people to hear me say this. My highlight of SmackDown
You need to
was
sit
a
down if you're not sitting
Roman
down.
Reigns Buddy Murphy match.
I heard it was pretty awesome.
It was.
Like I said, I've mentioned it earlier. Like, we knew that Murphy wasn't going to win, but this was a coming out for Murphy on the main roster on SmackDown. Buddy Murphy was physical. He was aggressive. He actually, he made Roman like a bitch half of that match.
Well, I think there was even a spot where Roman was like, you could kind of see him on camera, and they made a point to mention it. You know, who is this guy? You know?
Yeah, like, Buddy Murphy's whole gimmick is the best kept secret. Like, no, the secret is out, bitch.
Yeah.
Buddy Murphy is here. And you got to do something with I just hope and pray to whatever deity you want to pray to that they do something with this guy. I don't care if you put him inside of a triple threat. He ends up taking a IC championship and actually, I think he'd be a great heel IC champion right now.
Yeah.
Like, they're not doing shit with Nakamura. So go ahead, throw Ali, Murphy, and Nakamura together at Clash. And have and surprise the world to have Murphy take the IC championship and let him run with it. His in-ring work is great. He obviously can do promo work in the back of what he's done with what he did with Roman last week and what he did with Bryan and Rowan this week. That he's got what it takes to actually be. I don't see him as a top card guy, but he could be one of those guys that could be a solid top guy in the mid card.
I mean, shit, dude. They call him a cruiserweight. He looks like he's fucking 240.
Yeah.
Oh, he actually. So the funny thing about the reason that comes,
he don't look like no fucking
so the funny
cruiserweight
thing
to
is,
me.
like, even when he was doing the cruiserweight stuff, he was always on the cusp. He was all like, so there were some certain points where
Yeah, they could like he's on the borderline 205 shit. 245. Look at that motherfucker.
the motherfucker's probably like 212. Let's be honest, 212, 220 ish, and that's mostly muscle. And the way he moves, like, holy fuck. And like, I gotta give it to Roman too, because Roman sold Murphy like $1 million, and Murphy sold Roman like the $1 million WWE wants to believe him to be. And I'm not saying that Roman is bad. Roman, this match was probably one of the best Roman Reigns matches I've watched.
He looked good. And that spear was great.
And like Z said, he said Murphy copied Ziggler on that spear. So I'm like, no, Murphy made Reigns' spear look killer.
Yeah. It looked more believable when Murphy
Yeah.
sold it.
He was like, you really like when this, even when Cotter like, oh, the spear cut him in half. Like, oh, maybe it did.
Yeah.
That match had me out of the commentary. And yeah, and I hope Mikey's still watching like this so I can say, fuck you, Mikey. Yes, I admitted I liked the Roman Reigns match, and it was great. And it was worthy of the main event of SmackDown.
I do hope that they do something decent with Buddy Murphy and put him into a good mid-card picture. And, you know, I would love to see him with Nakamura.
And Ali in a triple threat.
Yeah.
Because that would probably that would be probably one of the highlights of Clash if that actually happens. And it's like, and at this point, he had us coming out with Roman. You could easily get him some momentum over the next 2 or 3 weeks into a program, because obviously they're not doing it through because all the championships on the line, they're going to throw Nakamura somewhere. And right now, they having a BS feud with Ali where Ali's begging for title shots.
Yeah. And they're not even featuring it on TV.
No, it's all featured in social media.
Mm-hmm.
Besides the whole Smackville thing where it was originally supposed to be Balor, but Balor wasn't medically cleared. So Ali stepped in.
Main event of the night, New Day. It was going to be Xavier Woods and Big E against the Revival. And then all of a sudden Randy Orton intervened and got Kofi Kingston shit, and then it turned into a 6-man tag match. The match itself was pretty solid. At the end, Randy Orton ended up RKOing
The entire
everybody. Which that kind of leads me to believe that we will see Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston become Clash champions.
Once again, they're gonna drag this out.
Yeah, and that needs to be it. Like we said earlier in the show, it should have been it at SummerSlam, but they gotta fucking overdo it.
Yeah, but what do they have for Kofi outside after Orton? That's was the real question. Like that's the one reason. That's the only logic I can give him. Like, what do you have for Orton? Like, if he did win clean at SummerSlam, what's next for Kofi?
Yeah.
He's probably been the strongest booked champion that you've had in a while since AJ Styles.
I feel like they might be saving that title change though for SmackDown on Fox.
Yeah, but once again, too, Orton's probably, unless you can build another heel like within the next 2 months.
They're gonna get Brock on SmackDown somehow.
Yeah,
that's how. That's how he's gonna lose it.
Which I can see, but once again, Brock shows up for special events, and also October is also that Saudi show.
Oh yeah, that's towards the middle of the month, I think.
So you have him show up on SmackDown, move to Fox, and you got him for another. You probably got him for pretty much the whole month of October.
Yeah. We dove a little bit into the Roman Reigns investigation of who's trying to hit him with the car and push over the shit backstage and the scaffold and whatever. Daniel Bryan and Rowan, they flat out came out and said it wasn't us, and we're gonna prove it to you tonight. So they go in the back and they get in Buddy Murphy's shit after his match, pin him against the wall, much like Roman did the week before, and he had a smirk on his face at first that was like, Daniel Bryan was trying to get in his face and say, tell them it was a lie. Tell them it was a lie.
Anybody can be pressured when you bully them.
Right. Yeah. And so eventually he did say he lied. Ultimately that was what happened is he lied. And then at the end of SmackDown, we see Daniel Bryan and Rowan facing off against Roman Reigns in the locker room, and they're going to prove it to Roman Reigns next week that it wasn't them that caused all the chaos.
Okay, by the way, that cliffhanger ending, that screams Bischoff.
Yeah.
I feel like Bischoff actually put a little bit of a finger in SmackDown this week.
Bischoff's not supposed to be handling the booking on SmackDown. He's supposed to be handling like the TV deals and corporate bullshit like that. Shit that he used to do with fucking Turner.
But that way that SmackDown ended this week is not something that been happening typically, especially on the SmackDown show in years. When's the last time we had a cliffhanger ending, like backstage cliffhanger ending on either show?
Hell, I can't remember, man.
Yeah.
I forgot last week's wrestling when I watched this week. There's like 17 hours a week of wrestling to watch.
That was an interesting way to end the show. And like once again, I'm gonna take this down. Roman Reigns' whodunit angle is probably one of the best angles in the company right now. Yes, I've given Roman Reigns 2 compliments on this show.
I don't know if I'm necessarily ready for it to.
It doesn't need to end yet.
To end. It's not one of the best angles for me in the company. Don't ask me what is right now.
I said really one of.
Think about but I'm interested. I thought it was Rowan. I really did, or Daniel Bryan. Are we going to see
a split?
It come out to it being one of these guys, or is it going to be somebody else?
How long is Lars Sullivan out?
At least 4 months.
So
this injury? No, 6 to 9 months, I think, from what I saw.
Oh, so we like maybe a month and a note. So I was like, you could have made a surprise return for somebody.
Yeah.
Right, he just did it because he's racist against Samoans.
Yep.
He
hates them.
Right.
Hey, I don't give a well, there's a lot of racist son of bitches out there. Hulk Hogan, nigga.
With that, I think we're going to be done.
That's a great cue to sign off.
Good show. Z had to bounce. No Mikey this week, but Mikey will be back next week. We're going to StarCast. We're 2 weeks out. 2 weeks as of tomorrow, we will be in Chicago, Illinois for StarCast 3 for All Out Weekend. Breaking Down the Ring is going to invade the shit out of Chicago. We're all going to be there. If you're going to be in the area, make sure you check out
penetrating Chi-Town.
StarCast. Come check out our booth. We're going to have a lot of shit for you. Come talk to us, chill with us, talk some wrestling, make fun of Smitty, eat his mayonnaise, whatever you got to fucking do.
Smitty's meats. Come on, mayonnaise.
Smitty's meats. And then we've also, if you go to our Breaking Down the Ring Facebook page, we also have events set for Clash of the Champions and
Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell in October at Buffalo Wild Wings. So go
Also,
and
we have Survivor Series, I believe, too. He said.
did he put the Survivor
He
Series
said,
event up?
he said next 3, I believe he said.
If they are up, just go to our Facebook page, check it out, like our page, show interest in those events. Come on down to Buffalo Wild Wings these next because it's a blast, fucking blast. But yeah, I think that's really about it for your ring crew.
That nigga Smitty.
Whole F and Joe.
And Mike Z. That works.
Smith Z.
And we'll see you guys next week. We are out.
Clear.
We're clear.
I got through most of my notes. Only thing I didn't get to is the random stuff I wanted to get to.
Well, I'll be dipped.
Yeah, it's like today was.
I'll be dead.
So today was actually the birthdays of both Kofi Kingston and Johnny Gargano.